Here's how to make your message stick so people actually remember it. Now, you know that your message is the one thing you need to get into people's heads and their hearts. And if you don't get that through, you drop the ball. Like, that's really what you're there for. Yes, you have stories to tell, you have a passion to tell the stories, but you and I both know that what you really want is them to think about you tomorrow, the next day, and weeks from now. So if people forget your message in 5 minutes after you're done speaking, it doesn't matter how powerful they felt in the moment and how great you conveyed it in that moment, but they won't repeat it. They won't share it. And that means you won't get booked again because no one's talking about you. And this is not a thing that's tied to how skilled you are, how passionate you are, how crazy your story is. Do you have a message that's come from that story, that's come from your experience that lands on people's hearts? Now, if you don't know me, my name is Anthony Trucks. Today, I'm going to break down and show you exactly how to create a message that sticks and sticks to people's ribs. This is going to take you from a great talk to being the go-to speaker, right? Oh, this guy talks real well and he's pretty good, or she talks real well, she's pretty good, to we've got to get this person into our company. Now, I'm going to break down the three keys to create a memorable message, the role of what I call sticky statements, and how to make your words live long after the mic has dropped, right? That's what you want. You want people thinking about it, sending you messages. In fact, I gave a speech last week and just got a message maybe like an hour ago from someone going, "Hey, I just want to let you know I loved your message." Like, that's cool. That means it stuck to them. I'm not making this up. It probably sounds like I am, I swear. But I promise you, this came out of a woman named Michelle from a company called Nadell. Now, this for me is a big thing because it means that what I shared landed. And that's how you got to focus on what you're putting out there. Now, here are the three keys to a memorable message. The first thing is clarity. Right, you've always heard that statement that says a confused mind doesn't buy, it also doesn't buy in. And on top of that, a confused mind forgets fast. If it doesn't know what it just heard, it goes to the next thing. And then if that thing locks in, I'm grabbing to that. I forgot what I was just confused about. So if your audience can't summarize your talk in a sentence, it's already gone. They walk out the door and they don't have anything to go and say, "Hey, this is what this person talks about. We've got to bring them in," or how to pass the message or pass the torch of your message along. So if you want your actual talk to have legs, it's got to be clear, it's got to be concise. So clarity is king. Don't be too cute. Be clear. Second, emotion. Can you make them feel it? Like, right? Your message has to do something that hits the heart, not just the head. When you're focused on the head and being like statistical and analysis say this and I had right, yes, they'll hear that and like it'll validate, but it won't sink in deeply. And if you want that depth of connection, a feel of heart, you've got to make sure they feel it, right? So your message must elicit an emotion, a thought, a connection. See, when I talk about my message, which is dark work, I talk about the work in the dark that allows you to win in the light. And I actually do this. I go, think about a moment in time when you had a big dream or aspiration that you wanted to accomplish, and no one else got it, but you got it. And you had to try to find a way to get them to get it. And you realize the only way they're going to get it is if you show them. How do you show them? You got to do the work to create the outcome that makes it transparently irrefutable that you have had success in this. And you got to toil away, right? What that dark work is, it's the unseen, unsexy, difficult, ridiculed, misunderstood, no high fives, no cheer, no support work that you do in the dark, the light in the middle of the night that's the glow of the computer on you, the early mornings running outside with just the cold air as your friend, the evenings where you're by yourself watching your friends post on social media all the crazy cool things they're doing and partying and drinking while you're ticking away building your future that at some point they'll look at and go, "I knew that person," right? That's what dark work is. It allows you to step into the light and not just have some success or achievement, but have this mentality. I have done too much work in the dark to lose in the light. Different feel. It's a different guttural sense of what you've got, right? You don't get to have that unless you do dark work. So when I bring my message out, there's an emotion behind it. If you don't have this, you'll fall short. They won't anchor it down. It won't stick to their ribs. You got to have something like that. Now, the other part of it is repetition. See, repetition when you're talking, it's not being redundant, right? It's making sure you're strategic. You say the core idea in different ways throughout your talk. So when they hear about it, they can actually see it and connect to different things for their life. Because maybe the first concept didn't land, right? I talk about dark work as an athlete. I talk about dark work in my marriage, dark work in my business, dark work in my health, dark work in my faith. Like, I talk about it from different positions and angles. And to be quite honest, someone's going to grab one of those and go, "I get it. It makes sense." You've probably read a book in the past where you're like, "All right, I got the concept in the first chapter, but they kept on in the next seven, eight chapters saying the same thing in different ways." Oh, yes, that was intentional. to make sure it gets anchored down deeply. So the first thing is make sure it's clear, then it's emotional and has repetition of when you say it. Now, the second phase of this, we'll call it the second segment, right, is why a sticky statement is critical. See, a sticky statement is your trademark phrase. For me, work in the dark, win the light. That's dark work, right? It's the line that they repeat to other people. It's the only one that they post on social media, the one that books more gigs because planners hear it and say, we need that. We need that person on our stage. Think of like messages that are tied to like start with the why, which is Simon Sinek. You may have the do hard things, shift your identity, which is what I talk about. 4 hour work week, right? There's different messages, but they have these language points that they go, I like that. We need that. If you don't have this, you will fall short over and over again. So for me, I had to realize that when I talk about dark work, it can't be this long, elongated conversation and statement. It's got to be clean and clear and concise. And so it's got to be a sticky statement. So when I say dark work, work in the dark to win in the light. It's clear. You can pass it along. It's not confusing. It lands me more gigs because people realize, yeah, our people do need to do dark work. They do need to win the light later on by doing things that they're not quite doing yet. For example, sales teams love when I come in because I can come in and talk about the things that they're not doing as a sales member to learn about their competition, to learn about their own product, to learn about what the client's needs are, to research, to pay attention, to listen differently, to ask more questions, to do a little bit more due diligence, right? That's dark work. And there's no guarantee of the sale. But I guarantee if you don't do that work over time, somebody else is, they'll get the edge. So are you able to do that dark work? That's what I talk about. Work in the dark, win in the light. It's not rocket science, but it's a necessity, right? Now, the third piece of this, how to structure for retention. I believe heavily that structure wins, right? You start a story with an open loop when you're giving a talk, and that story should be anchored to what your message is, your clarity piece. And when you start that story, it should be something where people are hanging on every single word. They should be just like just hearing every word and go like, I want the next one. I want the next one. And it sounds weird, but start it that way. And then what you do is you deliver this lesson from this story. See, the story is not just a story to tell to be cool and entertaining. It should have a pregnancy to it. The story has something it wants to deliver, so to speak. And so when you're thinking about telling the story, you're holding that piece. You're holding that piece. They know something's coming. They don't know what it is, but you're holding that piece and you start wrapping in that sticky statement somewhere, right? It's that work in the dark to win in the light. And then what happens little by little, it is reinforced through this structure of story to where when it finally lands, they go, oh, that's what it is, right? That's what you got to have. And a lot of us don't do that when we first start out. We just go, I'm going to tell a story. We'll see what turns out, right? That's not how you can run an actual speaking company because you don't have the strength of story and power to get in places to move on. But also, people who are looking to book you, they need to know what this is going to be. So you got to realize that when you're telling stories from stage, if you want someone to talk about you properly, they got to be inspired in this way. They've got to have a structure that has a solidified way of hearing a story to move it towards a space you want. And if you do that right, you're going to be great. Now, this message should be also easy to retell, right? If it's easy to retell, it's easy to rebook. Think about it that way. If it's easy for someone to hear your story and go, I get that, I want to go tell somebody else the story. That's how you get that language that is able to go well beyond you. Because what you don't realize is your business lives and dies in the dark. People's ability to talk about you behind your back in a good way also, where they go, man, this person was so good at what they did. That helps your business grow. If someone goes, how were they? They were all right. Your business won't grow. No one wants all right on their stage. They want, oh my gosh, phenomenal, crushed it, killed it, yeah, amazing, right? That's what they've got to hear. And if they don't hear that because you didn't do the things I just outlined, you've dropped the ball. Not intentionally, you just didn't do the right pieces of the pie, right? Or right piece of the puzzle to make it all fit together to get where you want it to go. So if you want to get in that next tier, next space, you got to make sure these things stick to people. They adhere to them in a way that changes who they are. And they go, I love this. I need more of this. And it all blossoms well. Done properly, man, it's a game changer. Now, if you want help crafting this message and actually doing things that get you remembered and get you booked, essentially, go to speaktofreedom.com. You'll see an area with a lot of information about how to contact us, how to find out about our programs. Hit one of the buttons. It's that simple. Find a button, hit a button, go a little bit deeper in the rabbit hole. You'll find out that what I do is actually this for you and so much more. So if you want to be a great speaker, you got to do some work. I'd love to help you do that work. Check out that link, speaktofreedom.com. Outside of that, I will see you in the next video.